Hey everyone, it's Jacqueline. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, subscribe because I post a new video every single week. So I know what you guys are thinking. You saw the title, you clicked on this video, and you want to know if I'm clickbaiting. Spoiler alert, I am not clickbaiting you. This actually happened. Yes, I was on FaceTime with Harry Styles. The story may not be as crazy as you think it is, but it's still a great story, so let's get right into it. Okay, so I have no notes for telling this story, so I'm just gonna tell it as I remember it. I may be kind of all over the place, but I'm gonna try to go in chronological order of the events that happened that led up to me being on FaceTime with Harry Styles. Okay, so I wanna say this was around 2014. I don't even remember what year it was in, which is pretty sad, but I'm pretty sure I was 13 years old, because I was still in soccer at the time. It was the summer of 2014, I think, and I was at soccer camp. There was probably about maybe 6 girls that were in this little team. It wasn't like a huge camp where everybody was there at the same time. It was kind of like in groups, so I was in this group of 6 girls. I was really excited to go because, to be honest, I enjoy soccer camp more than I enjoy the actual season, because I learn a lot more and you really focus on improving your skills rather than just like practicing and then doing a game, practicing and then doing a game. Soccer camp was more so focused on each individual person, and I feel like that helped me more. Anyway, so then we meet the coaches, and I had met this girl, we'll call her Sally, and as soon as we saw those coaches, we were like, oh my god, they look exactly like Liam and Niall from One Direction. And I don't know how I found out she was a Directioner. I think I sensed that vibe where we were kind of like, you look like them. So that's kind of how we met. We were like, doesn't that look like them? And then we started fangirling, and that's how we became friends, and that's how we found out that we are fans of One Direction. So it was a great soccer camp because we were both crushing on these 2 soccer coaches. They had British accents, by the way. I don't care if you don't believe this story. I promise you it's real. I'm not kidding. It just kept getting better and better. So you have 2 young British coaches that look exactly like Niall and Liam from One Direction, and they're teaching you soccer. It was like the dream for my 13-year-old self. And not only that, but I was also happy that I was able to share it with some other girl, because we were able to bond over that, and it made me excited to go to practice. So anyway, these guys were catching on. They were like,
yeah, we're British, we play soccer, we look like One Direction.
And they actually came up to us and they said, yeah, we know Harry. What? No, you don't. Like, we're like, no, you're capping, right? And the other coach was like, no, he's not kidding. Like, we actually know him, and we could probably get you backstage passes if you guys are fans. I was like, what? No, you guys are lying, right? There's no way. And so me and that girl Sally just thought it was hilarious. We're like, no, we don't believe you. So we just went on with the soccer camp, and these guys kept throwing One Direction at us because they knew we were fans, and we thought they were just messing with us. So soccer camp wasn't that serious all the time. Here and there we also have bonding activities or fun games that we can do. And one of the games was, you have a topic, and then each person has to say a word within that topic as fast as you can, and whoever is the first one that can't think of anything gets like sprayed with a water bottle. I don't know. It was summer, it was a hot day, so we were just playing a game like that. For example, you might say, okay, the topic is fruit. So you have 2 people, and you know, someone says strawberry, and then someone says kiwi, and then you say banana, and then like you keep going until someone can't think of one, and then you get to spray them with like a water gun. So these guys were like, ooh, I know what the topic should be. It should be One Direction songs. So it was me against the guy that looked like Liam, and we were going back and forth, and he was on fire. He was naming so many songs, not just like, oh, What Makes You Beautiful, Story of My Life. No, he was saying like all of the specific ones, like Come On, They Don't Know About Us, songs that only people who listen to One Direction could name all of those. So that's when me and Sally knew, okay, not only do they look like One Direction, have British accents, play soccer, but they actually are fans of One Direction. So I mean, like, it just kept getting better and better. And by the way, I lost that game. He was able to name more songs faster than me, and this was like my prime time when I was like a huge fan, so the fact that he beat me shows how much of a fan he was. So we started asking them questions, because now we were like kind of curious. We're like, okay, if you really do know Harry Styles, how close are you guys? Like, did you just meet him backstage and you're like, oh, I know him? And he's like, no, we're kind of friends, I have his phone number. And we were like, and me and Sally went crazy. Sally and I didn't care if he was telling the truth. We wanted that number, and we told them, we will do anything for you guys to get us backstage passes or to give us his phone number. But like, now that I'm older, I understand why they would never give us Harry Styles' number, because we're 13-year-old girls that are fans. They probably thought we were gonna leak the number, which I wouldn't have, but like, I get it. I understand now. But back then, I was like so mad at them. I was like,
just give me the number.
I am in love with Harry Styles. I will do anything. So being the 13-year-old girls that we are, they were like, oh, you'll do anything? Okay, if you get me like a big bucket of cookie dough ice cream or a big bucket of cookies and cream ice cream, then we'll give you backstage passes. You know what I did that night? I went to the store and I got a big jug of ice cream for him, and I brought it to practice the next day. And he was so shocked. He was like, oh, I was just kidding. I didn't think you were actually gonna do it. And I was like,
I don't care if you were kidding. I did it, so give me my backstage passes.
because he sounded so confident that he could give us backstage passes. So I was like, if you're so confident, then give it to us. Like, we were his students. So I feel like there's some kind of, you know, earning towards those tickets. But anyway, they saw how determined we were for this phone number. So he told us, okay, well, if you give us brownies tomorrow, then we'll give you the backstage passes. So I got brownies, and he was like, I was just kidding again. If you know that we were willing to get you ice cream, what makes you think we weren't gonna get you those brownies? Obviously, you knew that we were gonna do it. You took advantage of us, you just wanted your brownies. So he didn't give us the backstage passes. So me and Sally were like, you know what? You want something done, you gotta do it yourself. Sally and I made a plan to break into our coach's phone and at least get Harry Styles' phone number. I mean, if you're not a fan of Harry Styles, you wouldn't understand why I would do that. You would say it's a violation of privacy. But if you are a fan of Harry Styles, you wouldn't understand if I didn't do it. So me and Sally are looking around, checking where he puts his phone down, kind of like glancing over his shoulder to see what his passcode is. We couldn't figure it out, and at this point, they were making so many jokes to the point where we told them, we straight up don't believe you. Like, we brought you so much stuff to prove how much we wanted them, and you are showing no proof, so we don't believe you. And they were like, oh, you don't believe us? Okay, I have proof. And we're like, okay, go ahead. We were over it at this point. We did not think that there was no way that they were friends. So the Liam guy takes out his phone, puts in his passcode. I couldn't see what it was, but he unlocked his phone. He went to his camera roll and he showed us like a picture from like 6 months ago of him and Harry. It was obviously not photoshopped. I don't think he would take the time to be like, oh, I'm gonna trick these girls really good and photoshop myself. Even if he did, whatever, it looked real to me. And I was like, okay, so you met him. Doesn't mean you have his phone number. And they were like, hold on, I got more pictures. And then there was like another selfie, like it wasn't like backstage, but you know when like the singers get out of the stadium backstage? I don't know where it was, but basically he just had like maybe like 4 pictures with Harry. So it was more believable at this point, and me and Sally were kind of going a little crazy, and we're like, okay, but do you have his number? He went to his contacts and there it says Harry Styles. Now we're kind of a little more freaked out because everything is adding up. He's showing us proof and we're like, no, you have pictures with him, you have his name in your contacts, but how do we know that that is Harry? Not unless you call him or FaceTime him and ask him if you guys are friends, that we will believe you. When we see his face and he says, yes, we're friends, then we will believe you. And they were like, okay, let's call him now. And me and Sally were like, what? Because we were not expecting that answer. We thought they were gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah, we're
just kidding, huh?
And we're like, okay. And then now at this point, we're freaking out because we're probably gonna see Harry, or they're just gonna call someone random and no one's gonna pick up and we're gonna be like, oh, okay, it was fake. But there's a big chance that Harry will see our face. So now we're like freaking out because we're all sweaty, we're in a ponytail. I look super ugly, but there our coach goes, hitting the call button, and we're waiting for him to pick up. And there was no response. So we're like,
bravo, guys, bravo.
You got us, you got us. And they're like, no, no, no. Harry's probably just at a meeting, you know, he's a big celebrity, he probably has so much stuff to do. So we're like, okay, we're just gonna wait for him to call back then. And then we go along with our soccer camp, blah, 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 whatever. Fast forward to the end of the day. So he checks his phone and there is no message, so we're just kind of like, At this point, me and Sally don't believe it anymore, and we're kind of over it. We're calling them liars. We're making fun of them for like trying to trick us and how we almost fell for it, even though we kind of did. So they were like, no, we'll try tomorrow. The next day rolls over and we're on our lunch break and they're like, okay, we're going to call him one more time, but just so you guys know that we are serious, in case he picks up, let's FaceTime him so that way you guys can actually see his face. So I was like, yes, I agree. So he presses the little FaceTime button. Our faces are in the camera. We're all scrunched up together, waiting for something to happen. And then you see the little connecting thing at the top. So me and Sally were like, okay, this is the moment. We're gonna see if this is Harry or not. So he picked up, we're just waiting for it to connect. And then vroom.
You just see Harry's face.
I don't care if you don't believe me. I don't care if you don't believe the story. I don't even believe it. When I think back to it, I'm like, did that really happen? Did that really happen? But yes, it did happen. It was Harry right there on the screen, and he was like walking and the phone was like downward, kind of blurry because the connection wasn't really that good. I don't even know where he was at this time, but you can hear him like trying to talk, like maybe saying hi or hello. And our coaches are like, hey Harry, we have some fans right here and they just want to say hi. And as you can imagine, my face is completely red and I don't know what to say because I wasn't expecting this, and I'm shaking. I'm about to cry. I'm like screaming in my head. I am frozen in my footsteps and I don't know what to do or say. So then Harry was like kind of trying to respond, but the connection was really bad. We couldn't really like see his face anymore because you know how the thing says like reconnecting. So at that point my coach was like, I don't want to bother him, you know, the connection is bad, blah blah blah. So he just ended the call, and then me and Sally start screaming and we're telling them, oh my god, we're so sorry, we did not believe you. Now we believe you. And now we're freaking out even more because they had proof at this point. And as you can probably guess, yes, we did torture them way more than we did before. So now we're angry at them. We're like, okay, if you really know him and you really have his phone number, what's stopping you from giving us those backstage passes? Like, now we're mad because now we know it's true. And they're just kind of laughing. They're like, I don't have backstage passes, but like if I really tried, I could probably get them. But even then, they're really expensive, blah blah blah. And I was like, I don't care, I just want them. I'll pay like $2,000 or even more. How much are backstage passes? They're definitely more than that. But I'm sure my dad would have bought that backstage pass for me because he knew how much I really loved One Direction. But it didn't matter because these guys weren't even giving us a chance. They were like, no, I'm not gonna do that. He was like, yes, I do kind of know Harry, but I was kind of lying about the backstage passes part. So me and Sally are really mad at them. We like bully them the entire rest of the summer camp, but more like in a joking way. Like they'll be like, okay guys, go over there and we're gonna kick the ball around these cones. And we'll be like, okay, we'll do it
if you give us some backstage passes.
And they're like, ha, just go over there. So we were upset like that. But I could not complain too much because I had been on FaceTime with Harry Styles. Like, it would have been nice to have some backstage passes. But the FaceTime is good enough. I am okay with that. I love the fact that I can kind of remind myself that sometimes. But it's really hard to grasp that around my head because I still don't believe that happened. I feel like that was a dream. And just to let you guys know, I did reach out to Sally because I kind of wanted to put a clip of her into this video confirming that it was real and that she was there and how she felt, but she didn't respond. So yeah, I don't have permission from her to use her name, which is why I'm saying Sally, but I promise you guys it was real. I was telling my mom the entire thing, so she heard it personally from me while it was happening. When I was 13, I would come home from soccer practice every day and update her on what was happening. So yeah, that's it. That's my story. It may have not been too crazy because I didn't really get to talk to Harry because the connection was so bad and I didn't get a backstage pass. But there are parts that are crazy. The fact that I even got to FaceTime him, the fact that I had 2 British coaches that looked exactly like people from One Direction, the fact that we got them ice cream and brownies for backstage passes. I don't know, I would say that's a pretty good story and YouTube worthy. But yeah, that's what happened. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. I hope you guys believe my story, and even if you don't, it happened, I promise. But yeah, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you guys like this kind of content. Make sure to hit the notification bell, give this video a like, so that way I know that you guys like these story times. And comment down below what you think of my story. Do you think I should have done something different? Do you think I should have tried more? I definitely feel like I should have tried more. Kind of disappointed myself. I could have met Harry Styles. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.